Before the green flag even dropped at Talladega Superspeedway, this race had layers. Qualifying got rained out on Saturday, which meant Tyler Reddick started from pole by the rulebook. NASCAR had also adjusted the stage lengths heading into the weekend, stretching stage 1 to 98 laps, more than half the total race distance, in a deliberate attempt to reduce the fuel-saving chess matches that have plagued superspeedway racing. And on top of all of that, points leader Reddick appeared on the Fox pre-race show to announce a multi-year contract extension with 23X1 Racing, holding a 110-point lead over Denny Hamlin in the standings. The tension between fuel strategy and all-out racing had been the storyline heading in. What nobody anticipated was just how violently that tension would snap. Stage 1 played out almost exactly as NASCAR feared. With 98 laps to complete before the first stage break, teams had no choice but to stretch their fuel. The early pit stops were messy. Denny Hamlin came in too hot and served a pass-through penalty. Chase Briscoe was penalized for a safety violation after contacting a crew member. Austin Cindric missed his pit stall entirely. Riley Herbst was penalized 3 separate times across the stage. Chad Fincham, starting 38th, led his first ever Cup Series laps on lap 10, pacing the field for 8 laps before stepping aside to save fuel. Ryan Preece ultimately won Stage 1, with Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano right behind him, and Fords collecting 8 of the top 10 positions. Reddick, meanwhile, pitted before the stage ended and had to restart from the rear. It was a cautious, grinding, patience-testing opening segment. Everyone could sense what was coming next. Stage 2 opened at full throttle. The cars went 4 wide almost immediately. The field had been coiled up for 85 minutes under conservation mode, and when the leash came off, the result was exactly what the Superspeedway package produces when pushed to its limit. On lap 115, Ross Chastain pushed Bubba Wallace at the end of the backstretch. The contact got Wallace's number 23 Toyota loose, turning him sideways directly in front of the entire field. What followed was the biggest wreck of the 2026 season. 26 cars collected in turn 3. The red flag came out on lap 116 for a 10-minute stoppage to clear the wreckage. Among those eliminated or severely damaged, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Cole Custer, and Wallace himself. Championship leader Reddick took damage but survived, eventually finishing 14th. Wallace, who had led 3 times on the day and was making his 300th Cup start, was done. He handled it with class. Got wrecked there, unfortunately. Our Toyota Camry was a little unstable getting pushed, but manageable. Maybe that hard of a hit was too much, so unfortunately we wiped out a bunch of cars. Got to debrief, got to be better. Blaney framed it differently. I feel like we all just got pinballing off each other there. It's not like there's any blame on anybody. It's what this thing is. And Logano, who had been one of the most vocal critics of the current superspeedway product, put it most bluntly in his Fox interview. What do you want? Save fuel or crash? Pick one. That's what it feels like right now. You've got round bumpers on these things, the cars are unstable, and once everyone starts pushing and racing aggressive, that's going to happen. Chastain, despite triggering the chain reaction, won Stage 2. A few laps into the restart, Ty Gibbs blew a right front tire from earlier crash damage and slammed the wall, taking out Michael McDowell with him. The race restarted with just 16 cars on the lead lap. What remained of the field settled into 2 lanes, and those 2 lanes locked up like a vice. Making a 3rd lane stick was nearly impossible. Chase Elliott admitted afterward that the final run gave him almost no options. Reddick clipped the wall with 27 laps to go, bringing out another caution. Then, at lap 182, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. made contact with Carson Hocevar, sending Hocevar into Eric Jones. Jones's number 43 Toyota spun multiple times through pit entry and stalled in the infield grass. Yellow flag, 3 laps to go. During the final caution, the radio conversation in the number 77 Spire Motorsports Chevrolet turned tactical. Spotter Tyler Green, an 18th-year veteran, brought up lane strategy and referenced a recent Bristol race where the team had chosen not to start from the front row. Hocevar cut the discussion short. Winners choose front row. Green knew his driver was going on offense. What happened next was 3 laps of textbook Talladega execution. Hocevar controlled the front, got the push he needed from Alex Bowman's number 48 Chevrolet, and held his lane as Buescher pressed from the outside. The two ran side by side virtually the entire final lap. Hocevar crossed the line 0.114 seconds ahead of Chris Buescher. Bowman was 3rd, Elliott 4th, Zane Smith 5th, Carson Hocevar, 23 years old from Portage, Michigan, had just won his 91st Cup Series start. He became the 13th driver in history to earn a first Cup win at Talladega Superspeedway. Spire Motorsports had just recorded only its second Cup Series victory, their first coming in a rain-shortened race with Justin Haley in July 2019, a span of 243 races earlier. This one, as co-owner Jeff Dickerson put it, was settled on the racetrack. Before we get to what happened after the checkered flag, it's worth understanding what Hocevar has built toward to get here. Over 3 full-time seasons in the Cup Series, he earned a reputation as one of the most talented but also most aggressive young drivers in the garage. He'd been criticized for moves that cost other drivers, gone through public growing pains, and watched near misses pile up. Most recently in the 2026 Daytona 500, where he led at the start of the white flag lap before being rooted out of line. He said later that he replayed that moment 1,000 times. At Talladega, he used it. He didn't overcomplicate the final restart. He didn't make the unnecessary block. He raced with the poise that crew chief Luke Lambert had been seeing develop all season. He's always looked like an amazing talent. He's always had amazing car control, and he's always been super fast, but now he's starting to look like a veteran. Then came the celebration. Hocevar pulled to the apron of the front stretch, and using his 6'4" frame to his advantage, positioned himself sitting on the edge of the driver door. He removed the steering wheel, kept one hand in reach of the throttle, and made a slow pass down the entire main straight. Helmet off, waving to the crowd, fully visible to every fan in the grandstands. The crowd reaction was immediate and overwhelming. He then steered the car nose first into the outside wall and executed a burnout against it before climbing onto the roof. Dickerson, watching from pit road, couldn't even find his driver at first. He looked like Shamu hanging out the window. No, I've never seen anything like it. Man, these first ones, I'll remember this one till the day I die. Hocevar had been thinking about this moment for a long time. I just wanted them to get as loud as possible, and I felt like they would if they could see me seeing them. Ultimately, I just wanted to make sure I soaked every bit of it in. In his post-race press conference, he made a spontaneous connection. He realized mid-sentence that he had actually practiced riding the door at Le Mullet's, Cleetus McFarland's event at the Freedom Factory. That realization brought the story full circle in a way no script could have planned. Because the day before, at that same Talladega Superspeedway, Cleetus McFarland had come agonizingly close to winning an ARCA race. Hocevar had run to congratulate him. On Sunday, Cleetus returned the gesture. NASCAR mic'd up the phone call and let it play out live during the press conference. "I knew it was coming," McFarland told Hocevar. "I knew you were gonna do it. You drove your tail off. We're all so proud of you, man." Hocevar fired right back. "I hope you were jumping on the wall or wherever the hell you were. You're going to win one soon. You've got it." Then Cleetus chimed in on the burnout. "Immaculate, brother, immaculate." And Hocevar lit up, making the Le Mullet's connection out loud for the first time. Cleetus had also posted his own raw reaction video of the final lap, screaming at his screen as the number 77 held on. That clip spread immediately. The moment worked because it wasn't staged. It was two people who genuinely respect each other sharing something real. Spire Motorsports co-owner Jeff Dickerson made clear this win is a marker, not a ceiling. "I don't think it's hyperbole. I don't think our organization has hit on all cylinders this year, and I don't think the 77 has hit on all cylinders this year. When we can finally put it together, and if we put it together at the right time, I'll be more than happy from Labor Day on. We can make noise in this championship." Hocevar now sits 8th in the standings. Daniel Suarez is 14th. The possibility of Spire putting 2 drivers into the playoffs is no longer hypothetical. Dickerson has said to Hocevar 1,000 times that he is just going to let his young driver touch the stove burner and let the learning happen naturally. He says, "I'll figure it out eventually," Hocevar said. "It took 91 races to figure that out." The next race is May 3rd at Texas Motor Speedway, a 1.5-mile oval, an entirely different discipline, and a track where Joey Logano is the defending winner. The chapter at Talladega is closed. For Carson Hocevar and Spire Motorsports, what comes next is the part that matters most.